Well, hey there, mom friend. You are tuned in to the Joy at Home podcast, and we are talking about one of my most favorite topics today, the 6 different styles of homeschooling. We're going to go through these today, and then you can based on what you hear about each style, you can kind of figure out which one you are. And then I'm actually going to share just a couple of curriculum options that align with each of the 6 styles of homeschooling. So first of all, did you even know that there are different styles or different methods of homeschooling? One of the things that I absolutely love about homeschool is that it is so customizable, so individualized, and it's as unique. Your homeschool can be as unique as your family is because not all of us are the same, right? Not all of our families are the same. And even when it comes to our kids, more often than not, all of our kids have different personalities and different interests and different ways of learning best. So that's one of my favorite parts about homeschooling. We are going to dive into these 6 different homeschooling styles. You'll have to reach out to me and let me know which one you think you are. This is so much fun. So, first, we have traditional homeschooling, traditional style homeschooling. Now, this one looks the most like public school, but don't let that fool you. It is not public school, right? None of these methods, none of these options are public school at home. It's just that it hits a little bit like the public school methodology in that it's very traditional, very structured. There are typically books, worksheets, and workbooks with traditional style homeschooling. There is a pretty structured schedule. There are scheduled lessons and assignments and quizzes and tests. Typically, with traditional homeschooling, you cover those core subjects like you would in a public school setting. So it's a very structured approach. And I feel like it can be fairly easy to grade because you've got all of these structured things happening. You've got your textbooks and your workbooks and your worksheets and your tests and your quizzes giving you a pretty cut and dry grading method of grading, right? So that's traditional. And with traditional homeschooling, I wanted to let you know a couple of my favorite curriculums. Actually, this is just my favorite curriculum altogether that I have come across so far, and that is a company called Master Books. Master Books offers a lot of different options for all the ages and stages and grades and subjects, even some wonderful electives that Master Books has some awesome curriculum for. But most of them do fall under this category of traditional style homeschooling. So a lot of moms are really comfortable with this because a lot of today's homeschooling moms actually grew up in public school. So if that's the case for you, then you'll be very familiar with it, very comfortable with it. Another curriculum option for traditional style homeschooling is Abeka. So maybe you've heard of that one, maybe not, but it does follow that traditional style of homeschooling. The second homeschooling style is classical. Now, classical style homeschooling is based on what they call the trivium or the 3 stages of learning. So, as the kids age and progress, they're kind of traveling through these 3 different stages of learning. And those stages include the grammar stage, the logic stage, and then the rhetoric stage. So, classical style homeschooling really emphasizes thinking. So they do a lot with critical thinking and logic. You see that a lot with the classical homeschooling. Language learning is a really big part of classical homeschooling. So oftentimes you'll see them studying Latin and Greek and digging deep into those roots, into those kind of core languages that a lot of our language skills come from today, the things that we are really rooted in. So they'll often be studying those. Classical literature is also a big part of classical style homeschooling. Now, there is a company that I absolutely love. You've heard me talk about it a lot here on the podcast before. IEW, or the Institute for Excellence in Writing, founded by the incredible Mr. Andrew Pudewa, who was on the podcast back in episode 195. You'll have to go back and check out that interview with him if you happen to miss that. He is just incredible. But he's the founder of IEW, and The Institute for Excellence in Writing, or IEW, really simplifies the writing process. So they have several different products. My favorite one is called Structure and Style for Students. And Mr. Pudawa just simply simplifies the process of writing and helps kids to learn to love the process of writing because he gives them step by step by step methodology, and it is all rooted in classical style homeschooling. I cannot sing their praises enough. We use a blend of different styles, but we absolutely utilize IEW's classical homeschooling curriculum. So that's one of my favorites. There's also something out there called Classical Conversations, and it's kind of this big community of classical homeschoolers that get together and support each other and learn together. So if classical is your style, then you might do a quick search for a classical conversations group in your area. Next, we have Charlotte Mason homeschooling style. This one I absolutely love. I feel like it is not only a gentle approach, but it is also a whole child approach, meaning that Charlotte Mason homeschoolers believe in educating the child wholly, not just in those core subjects, but completely and wholly. So they're also learning life skills. They're digging into great literature. They love to utilize what we call living books, or books that spark the imagination and almost come alive to the reader or the listener, where you feel like you're in the story. So very engaging and rich literature. Charlotte Mason homeschooling tends to utilize nature as one of their best teachers. So, getting your kids outside and letting them spark their curiosity through experiencing nature. Charlotte Mason homeschooling actually was inspired by a real person named, you guessed it, Charlotte Mason. She was a British educator and reformer. And so that's kind of how this all came to be. But Charlotte Mason homeschooling really is a lifestyle. It is a whole bodied, embraceable lifestyle of learning. Another thing I love about Charlotte Mason homeschooling is that it promotes good habits and good character. So, a lot of different things that might go hand in hand with what you would say core values, like learning service and hospitality, and how to build good relationships, and how to create and build upon good habits in your life. Another thing that I love about Charlotte Mason homeschooling is that, in contrast to traditional homeschooling, which is a lot of writing out your answers, worksheets, that type of thing, Charlotte Mason homeschooling really tends to utilize retelling or narration. So you may be learning something together as a family, and instead of the kids filling out worksheets, they are going to retell to you or narrate to you what they have just heard and what they have just learned. And I think that's a great way for kids to learn and retain and tuck all that good thing in their memory bank. Some curriculum that I love when it comes to Charlotte Mason homeschooling. There's a company called Simply Charlotte Mason. Sonia Schaefer is, I believe, the founder of that company. It's a great company. And then when we very first started homeschooling, I came across a company called Queen Homeschool Supplies. And coming from public school and stepping into homeschool, we needed somewhat of a gentle approach, kind of a gentle start, because I had no idea what we were doing in the beginning. And so I came across some language arts curriculum from Queen Homeschool Supplies that just fit the bill. It was such a gentle, wonderful way to start our homeschooling experience. Next, we have unit studies style of homeschooling. This one is really fun. Unit studies will arrange all of the subjects, all of the core subjects around a common theme for a period of time. So let's take, for example, the pioneer era. So as a family, you might read through all of the Little House on the Prairie books by Laura Ingalls Wilder, one of our favorite series, by the way, one of our favorite authors. But you might go to museums and study different things from the pioneer era. You might cook food and utilize recipes from the pioneer era. So you've got your history, and then you're doing math as you are cooking these recipes, and then you find ways to incorporate science and writing and all of your core subjects into this one common theme. So lots of hands-on experiences, field trips, that kind of thing. Unit studies is very immersive and experiential, and I kind of love that. So you're very hands-on as you're studying through this common theme, and you're kind of like drawing in all the core subjects. Maybe you're, reading about the history of the pioneers and writing a research paper about that. So it's a really fun way for the kids to learn really in depth about whatever it happens to be that you're studying at the time. So you can do this with all sorts of things. Pumpkins, apples, those are ones that I like to give for examples as well. If you're studying, say, pumpkins in the fall, you can go to the pumpkin patch. You can plant a pumpkin. You can bake a pumpkin pie. You can read books about pumpkins. You can carve pumpkins, study the history of pumpkins, and read about all of their uses and the life cycle of the seed and all of those things for a period of time. One of my favorite curriculums for unit studies, homeschooling, is Gather Round. They have some really beautiful material and all sorts of different unit studies that they're offering right now. So you can go check them out. Then we have the unschooling style of homeschooling. So unschooling is very child-directed and very interest-driven. There's not necessarily a set curriculum or an agenda. Unschoolers will typically just take what the kids are interested in and they'll run with it. They'll go study in depth, in great detail, that thing. And a lot of times they will be utilizing local resources instead of, like I said, set curriculums or textbooks or whatever, but rather they'll go do field trips and they will go utilize the library, and maybe they'll find some guest speakers or go to local museums and really, again, kind of with the hands-on, but they'll really dive into the thing that the child is interested in, and they'll go really in depth learning about that thing and kind of bunny trail and really hold the child's interest in that way. Unschooling is, of course, a lot less structured than all the other homeschooling styles, as they're utilizing all these different resources instead of just sitting down with curriculum. Unschoolers also do tend to let nature be a teacher, which I think is always a wonderful thing. And then we have eclectic homeschooling. So the eclectic homeschooling style is what my family is. It's really a blend of all the other styles, a combination of all the other styles. Eclectic homeschooling is highly flexible and customizable because as a family, you're able to pick and choose what you love, the best of the best things from all the other styles of homeschooling and all the curriculums that are out there. You're able to pick and choose what you love and what works for your family. So it's really customizable and flexible. Most oftentimes, eclectic homeschoolers will not order a box of curriculum from one single company. They really will pick and choose this book from here and that book from there. And again, that's kind of what we do. You heard me share about utilizing some of the Gather Round. We utilize IEW. We utilize a lot of master books. So a lot of different things going on there. We love to incorporate nature and field trips as well. So we are obviously eclectic homeschoolers over here. Eclectic homeschooling, one thing I love about it is that it really implements real world learning with this large variety of resources and curriculum. So I can't really give you one certain curriculum because it really is just a culmination of all the other ones, all the things that you find are a good fit for your family. So there we have it. Today was short and sweet, a little bit of a crash course in those 6 styles of homeschooling. Let me just go over them again. We have traditional, classical, Charlotte Mason, unit studies, unschooling, and then eclectic. So I hope you enjoyed this overview. I want to let you know that inside of my course, First Steps to Homeschool, you actually get to take a really fun quiz to find out exactly which one of these you are. And then I give a bunch of curriculum pairings to go with your style. So you can go check that out at firststepstohomeschool.com, and I will be sure to link that up in the show notes as well. That is it for today. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I love to talk homeschooling. I love to help moms be able to homeschool their families the easy way, because truly it does not have to be that hard. It is more wonderful than hard. Are there some hard days? Yes, but there are a million and one wonderful days, wonderful moments, and awesome reasons to homeschool. So I know there's a curriculum out there for you and your family, no matter which of these homeschooling styles you are. Be sure to dig into those resources that I mentioned. Reach out to me if you want to chat the different styles or curriculum. I'd be happy to help you. Head over and check out firststepstohomeschool.com. And with that, I'll let you go. I'm signing off with Joy, and I'll see you next time.